back to the farm. We ended up taking yesterday off. Well, I say I took it off. I worked on a couple of small projects, and I did get the counter put in. I'll show you that a little later. But mostly I spent the day at the studio and working on some small stuff. But today, come hell or high water, we have to get one of the last projects of the garden done. We have to get the potatoes harvested. So I've got, if you remember, I've got 4 beds, all full of starchy goodness, and I've got one helper who's currently watering the chickens. We did decide, since we were out today, we'd let the chickens out to run, and they seemed very happy. They were getting a little depressed being stuck inside the run all the time, no matter what we were giving them. So I'm glad to be able to set them free and let them run. All right, let me grab the broad fork and let's start turning these potatoes up.
You might want to speak up. Star Wars or Indian?
Star Wars. well, we're cleaning up the last of it. It was a slog, and both of us were just absolutely fighting to keep going. But I'm just like, I want it done. I just don't want to have to think about it anymore. So we got it done. Everything's turned. I forgot to turn the camera on for the broad forking for the last 2 beds. But those beds are all cleaned out and ready for next year. I do want to try and put some hay down on it, just because there isn't time to put cover crop on. I could plant something, but we're already in frost season, so it wouldn't have time to take. So that's that done. Next jobs I have to do is I have to harvest all the cabbage, and I have a couple of things I want to do with that. And then I need to get the garlic planted. And I have to double check my garden plan, because I'm just going to use the plan that I had set up for this year, next year, because I didn't really get to do anything. So next year, these beds here are going to be sweet corn. And I think in the middle bed I'm going to put sunflowers. But maybe not. I may put something else in there. I think the middle beds I'm going to alternate garlic and onions. And then the front beds are going to be potatoes and winter squash, but I'm also going to interplant winter squash among the corn. I cannot grow too much winter squash because, like you've seen with my zucchini, that I got 3 zucchini out of 5 plants this year, I have similar luck with winter squash. So I figure the more I plant, the more likely I am to get something. And then it's just doing cleanup and getting stuff ready to shut it down for winter. But those are all projects for another day. I have an appointment this evening that I need to get inside and get cleaned up for. And I will see you next time. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the farm. Last week was very busy and not very busy at all. I was just doing a lot of the same old work stuff. Not a lot of farm stuff, except on Saturday, I made my annual pilgrimage to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, where I bought many lovely things, and yet not enough lovely things. This week is shaping up to be kind of similar, but we are running out of time to get some chores done. It is supposed to rain most of the rest of this week. This is Tuesday, and you can see it's very gray, but It's been lovely and warm. It's been almost 60 today.
Found out why they were all lined up.
Bunnies are out of water. But we have rain coming tomorrow, and I'm getting sick. I woke up this morning with a tickle in my throat, and by this afternoon, I have a lot of muscle aches. So I don't know how much I'm going to get done this week, but I have one project that I want to get done as quickly as possible. It's been on the list for a while to get this tarp resecured. Well, we had a big windstorm over the weekend, and now I have to take care of the tractor. So we're going to get that recovered and move it into its winter position. So let's see how this goes.
Got zapped.
Oh, you touched the fence. I did that earlier, right on the underside of my arm. Gray and black toolbox, and then there's a clear plastic toolbox. That's the one that actually has the tools in it. And the tape measure is standing up on the right hand side. I just saw it. Well, that was a quick job. The tarp has a lot of holes and wear in it, so it's really not going to provide good shelter over the winter. So we're going to do some measurements and get a replacement tarp or two to try and do that, cover it up better for the winter. So I might be running to Home Depot tonight. I might not be running to Home Depot until next week. So if I see you again, I'll see you again. If not, we'll see you next week. Get the f*** out of my flower bed. Go on, get. Get. You too, get out of my flower bed. Get. Bark, bark. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the farm. As you can see, I'm still not doing great, but stuff has to get done. And most of my energy has been spent dealing with these buggers, because they have figured out how to get out of the run. The first time it happened, Morgan had forgotten to latch the door, because we just have a hook and eye latch on it. So we're running around doing roundup. And unfortunately, there's gaps under the shed here on both sides, so the babies could get down underneath. But Morgan managed to round everybody up and get them back in. And unfortunately, a couple of days later, same thing happened. So, okay, if you've got an issue, a mechanical issue, change the mechanics. So the first thing I did, I had this auto catch latch that I had gotten when I was working on the garden fence. And so it's like, well, let's put that in, and then that'll automatically latch and they won't be able to push the gate open. So we put that in, and it does work if you push it hard enough. And 2 days in a row, I did not push it hard enough. So I was the responsible party both those times for these rabbits getting out. So we're instituting a new mechanic. I've put, I don't know how well you can see that. There we go. I've put what was the baby chicken run across the front here. So even if they do get out of the run, they can't get out of the shed itself. And if they're running around in here, I don't have a problem with that because they're still relatively safe. And it's low enough that I can step over it, so that's not a big problem. So that's where we're at right now. It certainly makes it a little easier to think about butchering them, which we are getting to the time where we've got to start thinking about it. We need to gender them and get the males separated out in the next week or so because they're getting to a point where they'll be able to start breeding, and we don't want more babies right now. So that's going to be our next big project. And the boys will just go in these crates here to finish growing out. The girls, depending on which ones are girls, I may keep one or two of them, at least for the winter. A, so that they have a little more body warmth in here. But B, I may want to have just a few more rabbits in rotation for breeding, if the meat rabbit thing takes. It's fine for fathers to impregnate their daughters genetically with rabbits, and it's fine for sons to impregnate their mothers. The problems are brothers and sisters, and that's when you'll get genetic issues with your rabbits. So that's why we don't really want any of the babies getting bred. And I don't want any babies getting bred right now, because if they got bred now, they'd be giving birth the beginning of December. So we'd be looking to butcher February, March. And I don't really want to have to be worrying about baby rabbits when it's that cold out. So, I'm sure they would be fine. But since I'm just getting started doing this, it's not a risk I want to take. So I'm very tired. And chasing the rabbits around kind of takes the last of my energy. Julia especially was incredibly adventurous because she would go down into the pucker brush down here, which is all blackberry canes and burdock, and Morgan and I just got torn up trying to catch her. The funny thing was the cats were a great help in catching the rabbits, except for today. They were falling down on the job. All three cats, my two and Jack's, our neighborhood cat, who won't have anything to do with me, they were all sitting out here keeping an eye on Julia as she's exploring through the pucker brush and trying to head down to the lower pasture. Like, if we lost track of her, we just looked to see what the cats were doing, and sure enough, they'd have eyes on her. I do have a couple of projects that I would like to get done. Not difficult ones, but as you can hear, my breathing isn't great, and I just want to go in and take a nap. So, and I also want to get this edited so that Nikki has something to have her tea with tomorrow morning. So let me go take a nap and see if I get back out here. the chickens are getting anxious because it's close to their bedtime and I'm in their house, so I got to get out of here. So what's going on in here is we've been having a problem with the chickens knocking over the feed buckets. And especially in the winter, as the deep bedding gets higher and higher, they start filling in the holes to access the feed with shavings. So I'm putting them on chains, which I can raise and lower depending on what I need. I did want to put a couple of bricks beneath them just so they don't spin, because that's going to throw the chickens off. They're not going to want to put their heads in something that's moving. But so this way it's balanced, but they can still get into it. You can see one of the Junes helping herself to a bedtime snack. And I can just really easily take them off the clip to refill them as I need to. That's also going to leave extra space for the water bowls that I'm going to need to put in here as we get into freezing temps. So that's, all in all, that's going to make that a whole better situation. Now, the one problem I ran into is somehow I managed to get enough, more than enough chains. I got 10-foot chains and I really only needed 5-foot chains. But better to have them too long than too short. I thought I had ordered 2 clips, but apparently I only ordered 1. And I had one different kind that's a screw shut clip instead of a snap shut. But the flange for that wouldn't fit through the chain. So I'm going to have to go to the hardware store and get another one of these heavy duty clips to hang this one. But at least I know the theory works. The hard work is done. Putting a clip on is no big deal. So I'm going to put this ladder back. I'm going to put that ladder back. I'm going to get my tools in because it is starting to drizzle. And I'm going to call it for a week, and because I got nothing left. Come back next week. Hopefully we're going to retarp the chicken tractor, and who knows what else we'll get up to. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.